हम अहमदी बच्चे हैं, कुछ करके दिखा देंगे.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to the weekly Inspire show. Before we begin, we have the big general knowledge question that you can answer at home.
The Holy Quran is the book which was given to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and as Muslims we should try to read it every day. Ramadan was the month in which this holy book was revealed. That is why in this month we should pay special attention to reading it. But as well as reading it, we should also try and understand what we're reading. So this week we have another insight into the Holy Quran, and here is Ashar Ahmed to help us understand the blessed chapter of Surah Al-Baqarah.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This, the longest chapter of the Quran, is known as Al-Baqarah. The name was used by the Holy Prophet ﷺ himself and is probably revealed. The word Al-Baqarah means the cow. It has 287 verses. The subject matter of this long chapter is explained in its 130th verse. This verse contains a prayer of the Prophet Abraham ﷺ, in which he implores God to raise a prophet from among the Meccans who should, first, recite to them the signs of God, second, give the world a perfect book containing perfect laws, third, explain the wisdom underlying them, and fourth, lay down principles which should lead to spiritual transformation in the people and make them a great and powerful nation. The four ends which Abraham prayed for are dealt with at length in the chapter in the same order in which he prayed for them. The signs are discussed in the beginning in verses 1 to 168. Then the book and wisdom in verses 169 to 243. And lastly, the means of national progress in verses 244 to 287. The recitation of the signs refers to the arguments for the truth of the Holy Prophet ﷺ's message. The teaching of the book and wisdom refers to the laws of Sharia laid down in the chapter and to the wisdom or philosophy which underlies them. After a description of fundamentals like belief in God, the last day, divine revelations, and the prophets of God, we have ordinances about prayer, fasting, and pilgrimage, and then laws relating to marriage, divorce, the care of orphans and widows, the law of inheritance, etc., along with the wisdom underlying these laws. Last of all, in explanation of the subject of spiritual change spoken of in Abraham's prayer, the principles that led to national awakening are briefly but effectively dealt with, and the lesson is brought home that no people could hope to live who are not always prepared to die for their ideals. The giving and taking of interest is rejected, as this practice not only kills the spirit of sacrifice and mutual cooperation, but also leads to war and helps to prolong it. The surah ends with a moving prayer in which God's help is invoked by believers for the discharge of their great responsibilities.
Now we've come to the final segment of our show, the Friday Sermon Summary, followed by a short quiz that tests your knowledge and listening skills. Make sure you take part in the quiz by going to www.athfile.org.uk/show, and there you will see a link to a Google form in which you can submit your answers. So now we have the Friday Sermon Summary.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. In this khutbah, Hazur continued the previous theme of the companions who took part in the Battle of Badr. The companion he mentioned this week was Hazrat Khabab bin al-Arat radiallahu anhu. Hazur said that during the age of Jahillah, ignorance, Hazrat Khabab radiallahu anhu was made a slave. He was also the sixth person to accept Islam, and because of this he suffered immense persecution. Hazrat Khabab was a blacksmith, and he used to send swords to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When his master came to find out about this, he punished him by putting hot coal from the fire on the back of Hazrat Khabab radiallahu anhu. In other narrations, it is said that he was forced to lay on the fire instead. In the time of Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu, he was asked to show these scars, and Hazrat Umar said he had never seen a back with this many scars. Hazur mentioned the story when Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu had accepted Islam. Hazrat Umar was a fierce enemy in Islam and used to prosecute the Muslims to try and make them stop believing. When this didn't work, Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu decided to try and kill the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On his way, he came to know that his sister Hazrat Aisha and brother-in-law Hazrat Khabab radiallahu anhu had accepted Islam. Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu went to his sister's house and heard Hazrat Khabab reading the Quran. He was in awe of the words of the Quran and decided to accept Islam. Hazur said that those who were prosecuted during the early stages of Islam gained so much respect and a lofty status. Therefore, in the time of Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu, whenever these Muslims entered a sitting, they would be instructed to sit at the front, ahead of the sons of the previous prosecutors. They were disturbed to see the slaves sit ahead of them, but Hazrat Umar said that even though they were slaves, they were very much honoured by the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and so deserved the highest respect. Hazrat Khabab took part in all the battles alongside the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He passed away in 37 Hijri at the age of 73. JazakAllah. Ameen.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to the Friday Sermon Quiz for the 8th of May 2020. In this quiz today we have 7 questions. If you would like to take part in the quiz, please go to www.atfal.org.uk/The and click on the Google form provided. There you can fill out the answers and submit the form. So first I'm going to read out the questions and then I'm going to reveal the answers. So without further ado, the first question is, what companion did Hazur mention in the khutbah? Is it A, Hazrat Khabab bin Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala, B, Hazrat Khabab bin al-Arat radiallahu ta'ala, or C, Hazrat Khabab bin Yusuf radiallahu ta'ala? Okay, so that's the first question. The second question is, Hazrat Khabab radiallahu ta'ala was the person to accept Islam. Was he A, the 6th person to accept Islam, B, the 7th person to accept Islam, or C, the 8th person to accept Islam? Okay, the third question is, what profession was Hazrat Khabab radiallahu ta'ala? Was he A, a carpenter, B, a tailor, or C, a blacksmith? Okay, so the fourth question is, in which part of Hazrat Khabab radiallahu anhu's body was he burnt? Is it A, his back, B, his head, or C, his hands? Okay, so the fifth question is, who did Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala try to kill? Is it A, Hazrat Khabab radiallahu ta'ala, B, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, or C, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Okay, so the sixth question is, how did Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala convert to Islam? Is it A, he heard Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala and Hazrat Khabab radiallahu anhu praying? Is it B, he had a vision that his sister Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala had converted, so he converted too? Or is it C, he heard Hazrat Khabab radiallahu anhu reading the Quran with Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala? Okay, and the last question is, how old was Hazrat Khabab radiallahu ta'ala when he passed away? Is it A, he was 75 years old, B, he was 73 years old, or C, he was 71 years old? Okay, so the answers to the questions are as follows. The answer to the question 1 is B. The companion the Hazur mentioned was Hazrat Khabab bin al-Arad radiallahu ta'ala. The answer to the second question is A. Hazrat Khabab was the 6th person to accept Islam. The answer to the third question is C. Hazrat Khabab radiallahu ta'ala was a blacksmith. The answer to the fourth question is A. He was burnt on his back. The answer to the fifth question is the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. C. That's who Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala tried to kill before he accepted Islam. The answer to the sixth question is C. Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala heard Hazrat Khabab radiallahu ta'ala reading the Quran, and that's how he converted. The answer to the seventh question is B. Hazrat Khabab radiallahu ta'ala was 73 years old when he passed away. JazakAllah for taking part in the quiz. I hope you've enjoyed it.
The question was, what is the name given to an animal that only eats plants? The correct answer was a herbivore.
JazakAllah for watching. If you would like to take part in the program next week, please contact this email. From me, Khalid, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.